I think the most unique thing about Howard County are the people that have been drawn here. And I have to start with Columbia itself, with one man's vision, which was Jim Rouse, and the fact that there were individuals at a county level who listened to one person talk about what could happen, what kind of development could be here, what kind of life could occur. And because of his wisdom, not so much in the physical planning of Columbia, and there are those who said maybe he should have planned the whole county while he was at it. Not so much of that, but the fact that he looked into what we needed as human beings to flourish, or as he put it, to grow people. And because those types of rudiments were here, as one would say, you couldn't quite touch it or put your finger on it, but he was very explicit about the fact that it was going to be an open and caring community. And when I look back, especially in my life in the 60s, and this is what we were coming out of, to hear someone in 1968 talking about people living and working together in such a harmonious atmosphere seemed sort of not thinkable. And if Jim Rouse were alive today, he'd tell you that I was one of the people who truly doubted it. But I came anyway because I had a husband who brought me here. And we came to enjoy this as it had been painted, enhanced quality of life, which may have been true in some pockets of the United States at that time, but in my opinion, never concentrated in the thoughts of this would be an entire city that way. And so because of those seeds that were sown, I think many people who came in the beginning came with an open mind and came with a caring mind, came with a willingness to get to know each other as human beings. And that to me is what I still see today. No matter what role the person has, what your title might be, that I think it still prevails, that we treat each other as human beings and we care about each other. We care about our needs and we care about what's happening in the community. And that's what keeps me here, that very thing.
Where do you see us going as a community 15, 20 years from now?
Let me tell you what my hope is. My hope is that we'll always go towards that concept and keep it. And if there's any way to enhance it, I hope that will happen. I know that there are people who say that this was a dream or a vision. I prefer to say vision of an individual that now we're all living. And there's one thing that you have to be, at least in my opinion, very careful about is not to become too comfortable and let it slip away from you because of whether it's the economy or no matter what impact, whether it's education, whatever it is, that we always need to be mindful that when we see those little crevices that we don't begin to let ourselves fall totally through the crack and lose what we have here. Because there are people that move to Howard County today that come here for the reason of whether it's schools or their jobs brought them here. They're not coming because they heard the call of the vision of someone, a better place to live because of what we were living in at that point in time. Not so open, not so integrated. Now one is able to live openly and integrated no matter what it is that you may be, whether it's color your skin, your culture, whatever preference you might have and choices of who you want to be with. You can do that. We don't want to lose that. And I think that anytime that starts to slip, that's what we need to make sure that we bolster, whether it's through organizations, whether it's financial, whatever it may be. I'd like to see us in 15 to 20 years still a very viable county. I think we're about the 7th richest in the nation, if that's correct. I seem to remember something like that. I'd like to still see us very viable in that. I'd like to see our industry booming. I'd like to see the cultural aspects of this county enhanced and growing. Because without that, we begin to forget what we're all about. We need to see paintings. We need to see performances. We need to see the arts in every format. And that to me is what I hope that we have in 15 or 20 years.